And first at 11, we are counting down to 2025. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm Heather Crawford. My co-anchor Anthony Austin has the night off. And first tonight, we start with meteorologist Ross Muma. A lot of people heading outdoors to do fireworks, to watch all the displays. And it's looking pretty nice out there tonight.
It's a gorgeous evening, especially for this time of the year. Last day of December. Looks great out there, Heather. Temperatures right now, mid-60s for many of us. Earlier today, we hit 79 degrees in Jacksonville.
In just 1 hour, downtown Jacksonville will be lighting up with fireworks over the St. Johns River. Families are out there. They are ready for the festivities. And we want to go live now to On Your Side's Renata DiGregorio. She's outside the Hyatt Hotel downtown. So Renata, how's it looking out there tonight?
It's definitely getting busier out here, Heather, but there is still plenty of room if you're trying to come here to see the fireworks. People have been set up for a couple hours now in camping chairs, and there are several food trucks over here right where we are by the Hyatt. This will be a pretty good spot to see the fireworks, I think, as will over on the other side of the river by Friendship Fountain, because the fireworks are expected to happen right over here. So if you're not in your spot yet to see them, just be aware that the Acosta and Main Street bridges are set to close for about an hour. That's starting at 11:30. If you're worried about parking, don't forget you should be able to see the fireworks from even farther down the river, like down by Everbank Stadium and over by the Riverside Arts Market under the Fuller Warren Bridge. And all day we've been talking to plenty of families who are just out and about. They're really happy to be able to bring in the new year together.
Say Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
I really just want to have a good year of 2025, blessed. Glad I made it to 2025, and yeah.
So fireworks here in downtown Jacksonville start at midnight sharp, and you should be able to see them from either side of the river around downtown. Reporting live, Renata DiGregorio, First Coast News, On Your Side.
Well, always a beautiful display there. And today and tomorrow, the 2 of the 3 days when you can legally use fireworks here in Florida, following a law that was signed by Governor Ron DeSantis in 2020. Our Christina Burgess stopped by an Orange Park business today where fireworks sales were booming.
Setting off fireworks when the clock strikes 12 on New Year's Eve is a tradition for Joya Suggs and her family.
We have quite a few goodies.
Suggs packed the aisles in Superior Fireworks in Orange Park with the dozens of other customers filling up their carts for the big night.
This place is always the go-to.
It's super busy on the day of New Year's Eve every year. So we always have to prepare. We bring in a lot of extra help, and we've got a great team behind me that's been working very hard all weekend.
Orange Park native Josh Pappas founded the business 20 years ago with his brother due to their love for fireworks.
It's fun working in a fireworks store because customers are always really excited to be here. This isn't something they have to do. This isn't a chore or an errand. This is something people want to do. They're excited to go out and shoot fireworks with their friends and family at night. So it's fun to be able to help people on days like this.
So, yeah, we're going to do a little boom, boom, bang tonight.
And for Joya Suggs, tonight's bang has a special meaning to it.
The new year, I'm praying that my 4-year-old beats cancer. We have a lot to celebrate. I had a baby. We have a lot to be grateful for. So, new beginnings, a fresh start, just blessings and healing 2025. So we're going to celebrate tonight. Look forward to a prosperous 2025.
In Orange Park, Christina Burgess, First Coast News, On Your Side.
A prosperous 2025. So if you're planning on setting off fireworks at midnight, do keep in mind that local cities and counties can still ban or restrict the use of fireworks despite Florida law. In Jacksonville, fireworks are banned in any park, beach, dock, marina, or other recreational facility. Clay and St. Johns County follow state laws regarding the use of fireworks. And also want to point out that homeowners associations across the state can supersede the state law to either limit or not allow any fireworks in their respective communities. Well, from a downtown Jacksonville apartment building going up in flames to a St. Augustine priest surviving a stabbing, 2024 definitely has had no shortage of headlines. Tonight, our Katie Jeffries joins us with a look back on our top stories from 2024.
So much happened here in Jacksonville, including a massive fire here at Rise Doro. Multiple hurricanes and projects were approved that will reshape downtown. Now, before we close the book here on 2024, let's take a look back at the stories and images that dominated the headlines. There was no shortage of breaking news in 2024. In January, the Rise Doro apartment building was just about to officially open to its tenants when an inferno broke out.
We've got no injuries at this point. It's still a difficult fire.
Fire tore through the building with multiple trucks being called in to contain it. The building was a total loss, daylight revealing a charred and smoking structure. The company behind it saying they will rebuild.
We chose to move the company to Jacksonville, make a commitment to be downtown. We still have that commitment strong in our hearts.
And more changes are coming to downtown. Construction began on the Four Seasons Hotel in downtown Jacksonville, just across from Everbank Stadium. It is expected to open in 2026. And speaking of the stadium, talks began between the city of Jacksonville and the Jaguars about construction of the stadium of the future and who will be paying for it.
It's all going to come down to the dollars and cents and how we separate those things out. We are in those discussions right now.
In the end, the city and the Jags did come to an agreement on the $1.4 billion deal. Each side will pay $625 million, and the city will pitch in an additional $150 million in deferred maintenance to get the stadium ready for construction. Approved by other NFL owners as well, construction will begin in 2025, with a grand opening expected in August of 2028. Just across the river, the Duval County School Board also began a new era under the superintendent, Dr. Christopher Bernier. Voted into a 4-year contract, one of the first issues he had to tackle was a challenging one: school consolidations. The district arguing it was necessary due to a drop in enrollment at many schools, as well as the condition of some facilities.
It kind of was snuck in, and nobody really knew anything about it, and now here it is on our doorstep.
So far, the school board has voted in favor of consolidating 3 elementary schools for the upcoming school year and 2 others in 2026.
I urge the board to consider long-term impacts of these closures on our students. Access to quality education is a fundamental right, and it's imperative that we ensure equitable opportunities for all children in the district.
Whether or not these will be the last consolidations still remain to be seen, but this is an issue we will closely follow into 2025. In news that shocked our area, 7 people were killed when a gangway collapsed on a visitor dock at Sapelo Island.
I think it was too much weight on it, because they had all in walkers, they had all in wheelchairs, they had all in people, and that thing just, bam!
Hundreds of people were in the area for the Gullah Geechee Cultural Day celebration. When the gangway collapsed, it threw at least 20 people into the water, including Destiny Walker and her baby.
Like I'm really in the water, it felt like a dream, it's like a bad dream.
The Georgia Department of Natural Resources Commissioner said the gangway suffered a catastrophic failure.
How did this happen, and why could this have happened with a 3-year-old dog?
Those killed were remembered and honored through memorials at several churches. The exact cause of the collapse is still under investigation. It was also an election year, and things heated up with several high-stakes amendments and a presidential race on the ballot. Jacksonville making headlines over this incident and image. 18-year-old Caleb Williams holding what appears to be a machete at a voting precinct in Neptune Beach during early voting.
When you are speaking freely and then you incorporate a weapon or you incorporate a threat of some sort, that's when you've crossed the line. Now is criminal speech.
Police say Williams, along with several other juveniles, went to the polling location and harassed 2 female Harris Walls supporters holding signs outside. He is currently facing a charge of voter intimidation and has pled not guilty. Also on the political front, with the election of former President Donald Trump back to the White House, some familiar faces from the First Coast will be with him. Ponte Vedra's Susie Wiles is being tapped to be President Trump's chief of staff. Wiles worked with every Republican mayor in Jacksonville since 1995 and was a consultant for former Mayor Lenny Curry in 2015.
It's surreal to me that somebody that I know from Jacksonville, from this area, that I've known for years, that is a friend, is going to be in that job.
She isn't the only person from the First Coast headed to Washington. Representative Mike Waltz of St. Johns County was asked to be Trump's national security advisor. In Georgia, a 44-year-old cold case finally came to a close.
Just the kind of thing that never, ever leaves you.
The discovery of a car in a Brunswick pond is finally shedding light on what happened to Catherine and Charles Romer, last seen after checking into the hotel near the pond in 1980. Investigators pumped the water out of the pond to retrieve the car, with the family saying it finally does give them answers after 4 decades of being a cold case. And in St. Augustine, a crime and miracle unfolded as Father Matt Marino sipped his morning coffee.
So I sort of lean forward, and she pulls a knife out and just sticks it in my chest and pulls it back.
He was brutally attacked and stabbed multiple times, suffering a severed pulmonary artery and a collapsed lung. First responders were not sure if he would even make it to the hospital.
And then I remember thinking, well, I just don't want to go like this. You know, this seems senseless and random.
He spent 6 days in the ICU and is still in pain. But within a month, he was back giving his first sermon and says he will remain comforted by his faith and community.
This is the world. Beautiful and terrible things happen. Do not be afraid.
We're 33 minutes away from the ball dropping. You can watch the fireworks here in downtown Jacksonville on First Coast News Plus. From all of us at First Coast News,
Happy New Year!